some quote-unquote industry insiders who always have such an amazing track record, but there's also some stuff that's kind of sort of being leaked. Hello, Big Show nerds! Thank you for joining me once again on your Nerd News Headlines right here on the Big Show Entertainment Media Network. Today's episode is going to be a little short. I'm not going to lie. It's a slow news week, but that's okay because you'll find out what's going on in the housekeeping section. Before we get to housekeeping, though, we've got a couple of things to do. First and foremost, don't forget to smash the thumbs up. Let the algorithm gods know that what we're doing here is a good thing. Let us know here, too, that you like what's going on. And then there's also the intro. Housekeeping for today's episode. So I need to apologize starting things off in housekeeping because I got my dates mixed up last week and we didn't even talk about it last week because I thought I would be able to do it today, and today is kind of last minute, so I apologize. But there will only be one episode this week because I have concert plans, actually. I will be going to two concerts, one of them being tonight as you're watching this, going to see Alanis Morissette, and then I will be seeing on Saturday, which is going to change the day job schedule and things in such a way that I cannot do the second episode this week. I also will not be doing the weekly stream. Though I could do a kind of last minute stream on Saturday, Sunday, sometime. Maybe, just maybe, that might happen. Either way, will not be any sort of regular schedule this week, so my apologies. I'm seeing Van Morrison and Taj Mahal on Saturday, so there's that. So that being said, that is the specialty housekeeping for today's episode. Once again, not a sponsor, but brought to you by energy drinks, baby. Rowdy, sour green apple, sugar-free, good stuff. Yeah. It's. I'm probably going to end up doing a collage of clips of drinking the energy drinks probably for every episode from here on, just because they're a pretty regular part of my ability to function. So, that being said, let's get into the shout-outs for today's episode. Shout-outs, we have a little bit more than I anticipated. We have TikTok shout-outs are quite large. A couple of these are actually a little bit older, and I just skipped over them for whatever reason, so I apologize to you guys, but I am getting around to it and getting you in the shout-out section. Shoutouts for today. We're talking TikTok. We have bigboy.co. We have Harrison 2.0. We have Dixon Her. That's real original, bro. Iron Kills 370. Dig 2507. Sir Ravioli 9303. Warpig 1221 and Zray 17, ZWRAY17. Thank you very much, nerds, for following and joining in the fun. We also have a couple of new Getter followers. We have Nancy Williams XM and In Waves Shoegaze. I believe the In Waves one is just a band trying to get me to follow them back. But either way, thank you for the follow, nerds. If you want to get yourself a follow, a shout out, a something along those lines, then by all means join the other nerds that are following me on the social medias. The reason we do this big push for social media is because I'm trying to get bigger interviews and do the thing a little bit better. In order to be taken seriously, I have to have a few more followers and such. I do have a decent enough listenership, so once again, Nerdy Legion, thank you very much for tuning in like you do, because you guys are a big part of the reason why my listenership is at a respectable level. So big shout outs to the guys over at Nerdy Legion. the Nerdy Legion Podcast Network, nerdylegion.com, all of the things. Yeah, you guys rock. So yeah, that is our social media push. You know, look for Generally Nerdy. The Nerdy Ninja is the logo. That is where you'll find me. All of that being said, there is a little bit of a silver lining to the piece at the beginning of the housekeeping section, in that now I have an extra week to promote the stream theme, our stream theme for the next official stream. So if I do a stream between now and next Wednesday, it will not be considered official. It will just be a last minute, I'm throwing something together kind of situation. So our stream theme for the next official stream is going to be food service worker gripes. I have been in the restaurant industry for over 20 years, unfortunately, and so I have a few of them myself. I do encourage any one of the listeners or watchers or whatever who want to join on Twitch, twitch.com/generally_nerdy with 2 N's. That is where we do the streams, for the moment at least, and that is where you can join in the chat and we can talk about some crazy food service worker things. Honestly, there's over the last couple of years at my current restaurant, there's been a bunch of new ones, which I didn't think was possible at this point. So that being said, that is what we have for housekeeping. Now let's move into the news. Let's talk TV streaming. TV streaming, we do have a follow-up. We have mentioned previously that Scott Bacula himself has talked about the possibility of a Quantum Leap reboot. Well, Bacula is back in the news because he keeps bringing it up. In a recent interview with Bob Saget, of all people, Bacula brought it up again, said that there are still active conversations about rebooting the award-winning series. No word yet as to who, Bacula himself says, no word yet as to who potentially could pick this up. If anyone, but there is a lot of interest in doing this, according, once again, to Scott Bacula. So, it's a great series. We will absolutely keep tabs on this, but we have to move on now. So next, we're going to talk about a new trailer for a Hulu series about Hitmonkey. Hitmonkey, the Marvel comic book, is getting its own series. It will be released in its entirety November 17th. You can go check out the trailer for season 1 down in the description. So that brings us into proper news, and our first piece there is that Netflix is going to be releasing a free tier. This one kind of comes out of left field. Right now, the free tier is only in certain test markets. Very specifically, I believe India is the only test market that it's in right now. I could be wrong. It could be like Bangladesh or something like that. But either way, right now it is only in one market. There is conversations to roll this out into other smaller test markets. It seems that they're trying this in areas where they don't already have a few million subscribers, so that they can kind of push the subscription numbers up and then potentially flip those free subscribers into paid subscribers. So it doesn't sound like, if it comes to the States at all, it will happen anytime soon, but a nerd can hope. Also, there is no word what this free tier for Netflix is going to entail. Is it going to be severely limited? Is it going to be a regular Netflix subscription just supported through ads? None of those details have been made public just yet. And then our last piece of TV streaming news, unfortunately, has to do with the Emmys. Nobody watched the Emmys, though we do have to give a real quick shout out to the folks over at The Mandalorian for proving all of our nerdy points by winning 7 of the 24 nominations that they were up for. Those 7 being, I'll include a list in the description. Movie section, once again, really tiny. We only have one piece of follow-up news, and this is technically a follow-up from a TV piece that we covered a little while ago. That TV piece has to do with The Lost Boys. Lost Boys was going to be turned into a new series on the CW. Now, though, it is going to be turned into a new movie. The CW series is no more, and there is going to be a reboot movie that is going to retell the story of The Lost Boys. As more details those come out, we will be covering them. But right now, we do know that Jonathan Entwistle, who is doing the upcoming Power Rangers movie, will direct, and Randy McKinnon, who is writing the upcoming Static Shock series for the CW, will be the writer for the movie. Aside from that, that's all we got. So starting things off, in the rumor mill, we have it's a number of rumors, and we're going to boil it down to 3 separate rumors. They're coming from some quote-unquote industry insiders who always have such an amazing track record, but there's also some stuff that's kind of sort of being leaked from the review screenings of Venom 2. So this is Venom, Spider-Man, all of the things therein. So our first rumor has to do with Venom's appearance in Spider-Man No Way Home. So recently there was a Twitter post from Tom Hardy, or it might have been Instagram, from Tom Hardy where he's wearing a hat. That hat says Spider-Man No Way Home, and it is the cast and crew hat that only the cast and crew on that movie got. The image was quickly taken down. Now, is it entirely possible that Tom Hardy knows somebody on the cast or crew and wore their hat? Absolutely. But the rumor sphere is going crazy there. So that's telling people, oh my gosh. And like I said, a number of rumors sprung up from this, saying that Tom Hardy was going to be in Spider-Man No Way Home, at least in some sort of post-credit scene or something along those lines. So then the next rumor that we're boiling this down to is that we're going to see the Doctor Strange and or Spider-Man in Venom 2 in a post-credit scene. Now, the genesis for this one is the recent screeners for the review issue of Venom 2. There is a post-credit scene. Before the movie started, Tom Hardy got up in front of the screen with a microphone. They did the thing where they talk about the stuff and the hey. And as part of that, Hardy said, hey, so there is a post-credit scene. Please do not talk about this anywhere. And of course, what do people do? They go talk about it wherever they can. So it seems that in that post-credit scene, according to some quote-unquote insiders and or leakers, that there is some sort of tie to the multiverse in Venom 2. And then our final rumor is that the actual face-to-face for Spider-Man and Venom is going to happen in the 3rd Venom movie and not in a proper Spider-Man movie. All right, so the first rumor being that Tom Hardy's Venom is going to show up in Spider-Man No Way Home. I put this one pretty low on the likelihood scale because Tom Hardy is a pretty big troll in a lot of respects, and he will do anything to promote his movie. So, if he can create buzz around a thing, then people will be like, oh, Venom 2 is going to have all the answers, so everybody go see Venom 2! Tom Hardy is a brilliant marketer in that respect, along the same lines as Ryan Reynolds, and so on and so on. But the likelihood that Feige actually bent to the whim of Hardy, pretty small, not gonna lie. We're putting this one right about 20% likelihood that Venom will be in Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, the second rumor, that being that we will see some sort of multiversal interaction in the Venom 2 Let There Be Carnage movie in the post-credit scene. Now, this one gets a little bit trickier because I do think it would be interesting. I do want the first part of this rumor to be true, but the second part seems absolutely silly. So the first part says that as part of that scene, on a TV screen in the post-credit scene, we see the Mysterio clip that is being played in Times Square at the end of the last Spider-Man movie, where Mysterio gives away the identity of Peter Parker. That is reportedly being played on a television screen in this end credit scene. Words. But then it goes on to say that there's an inclusion of another character, and they're very confused that Tom Hardy's even there, Venom is there, whatever. Eddie Brock, that's the word I was looking for. So, who this person is the part they're not releasing yet because reasons. And so, I don't know, that just kind of dissolves the likelihood of this. So it seems that there is average amount of things on both sides of this, though I feel like there is more credit here to the debunking it side than to the confirming it side. So we're going to put this one a little bit below halfway cent. We're going to halfway there. We're going to say about 40% on that one. And then the third rumor here is that Venom 3 is going to be the actual face-to-face between Venom and Spider-Man. This one, I think, has a lot more going for it because we have been hearing from Andy Serkis. We have been hearing from Tom Hardy. We haven't heard anything from anyone on the Marvel side of this, but both Serkis and Hardy have said it's going to happen, it's going to happen, it's going to happen, and it's going to be huge! And then we're starting to hear that it's going to happen soon. So while I still think the deep down inside that it will not happen in this contract cycle, I think that there needs to be new contracts between Sony and Disney for this to happen. I do think there is still a possibility that that part of my brain could be wrong. So we're going to bump this one a little bit over halfway there, and say about 65% likelihood that that the third of these rumors is legit. So that is what we have for Spider-Man and Venom. Let's move now into Batman the Red Death. There is a rumor that Batman the Red Death, the version of Batman that merged with the Flash in the dark multiverse, is going to have some sort of cameo appearance in the new Flashpoint movie. Obviously, it's not being called Flashpoint, but that's what it is. So this is coming from the Andy Muschietti post on Batman Day on his Instagram with Batman chest piece with a Flash logo spray painted onto it. That is pretty convincing evidence, being as it comes from the director. It's official in a lot of ways. But I still think this is a troll. Like, I legitimately think that there's going to be a lot of crazy that happens in this Flashpoint movie. Dark multiverse cameos will not be part of that crazy. Because the only reason we're going as high as we're going on this percentage is that Muschietti is the one who sent out this image. So, based on that alone, we're putting this at 35% likelihood. And I feel like that's super, super generous. Our next rumor has to do with Harry Potter again. Now they're saying that there's going to be an animated series on HBO Max that has to do with something in the Harry Potter universe. Now, could this be a continuation of some of those other Harry Potter rumors that we've been hearing? Abso-freaking-lutely, because it's so stinking vague. The vagueness of this is kind of the only thing that it's got going for it. And, you know, Warner Brothers trying to increase the amount of content they have on their streaming platform also doesn't hurt. But Harry Potter is a difficult fish to fry, if you will. So the likelihood that we're going to be, and also the source for this is not the greatest. If I can get this from a better source or somebody else, even not a better source, but just multiple sources, that would help this a lot as well. But because of all of those things and just the craziness that is the Harry Potter IP right now, I honestly can't go, and this I feel like is pretty accurate. If we see this in the next 2 years, I'll be a little surprised, but not that surprised. We're going about 40% likelihood on this one as well. And then our final rumor has to do with the Nintendo Switch. So we've got some gaming rumors for you. Gaming rumor for the Nintendo Switch is that there is going to be a new controller launched by Nintendo officially. That rumor says that this could be a Nintendo 64 style controller for the Nintendo Switch. I'm going to squash that right now. So we're going to break this actually into two separate rumors. Is Nintendo developing a better controller for their console? Probably. I mean, their Pro controller is kind of perfect. Actually, no, the GameCube version of their controller is absolutely perfect. Their Pro controller is pretty dang close to perfect. So why they would need to do another official controller style, I don't know. Maybe it's a nostalgia thing. That's slightly possible, though I don't think that's super likely. Is it a more an easier controller to use for casual players? That, I think, is the direction they're going, if this is to be believed. So, are they developing a new controller? I'll say yeah, about 75% likelihood that there is actually a new controller in the works. Is that controller a Nintendo 64 style controller? No. No, it is not. 15% likelihood that it is a Nintendo 64 style controller, because that is by and large regarded as the worst Nintendo controller ever. If somebody develops such a thing for the Nintendo Switch, it will not be Nintendo. It will be somebody who does these kinds of things as cash grabs already, and not Nintendo, because Nintendo's going to develop something of quality for their audience. Generally speaking, that is their rule of thumb. So all of that being said, that is what we have for the rumor mill. That does it for this episode of Headlines Nerds. For a more in-depth conversation on the nerd news, all of the pop culture things in all of the other areas, then you can join me on my personal YouTube channel, Generally Nerdy. While you're here, though, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share on all of the Big Show Entertainment Media Network outlets and the things and the stuff. Sorry, words are a thing for me right now. And tune in next time for all that's happening across the nerd world.